Bonjour, my name is Titi Laifa Bentley, or Titi. Today, my group members Mariana Braz, Catherine Urena, and I will be presenting our country project on France. As the ninth largest economy in the world by GDP, France plays a major role in international business. This presentation will help achieve success there by providing insights about French business customs. I will cover workplace behaviors, specifically what is known as the French business model and general French protocol. Lastly, I will touch briefly on the art of French entertainment. Let's get started. Within the French business model, there are three main points: hierarchy, French logic, and national pride for the French language. The French way of doing business is linked to the significance they place in their cuisine, language, and history. They believe in formalities. In no place else does this hold true than in their respect for hierarchy, which has deep roots in French history. This image illustrates the Estates General, a French hierarchical system of the pre-revolutionary monarchy. The three estates or orders of the realm included the clergy and nobility, who were privileged minorities at the top, and a third estate which represented the majority of the people. This cartoon depicts the relationship between the three. Notice the clergyman and nobleman perched on the back of someone from the third estate. France's current system of deference is a vestige of this structure. According to a Harvard Business Review article, French businesses still operate under a highly stratified class system. A French student I interviewed agreed, saying, "In France, you have a set of rules implying a social order. Everything is painfully slow and rigid." An International Business Times article states, French companies follow a clear and vertical line of command, with top executives always having the final say. Therefore, Americans in France should know meetings are to discuss issues, not to make decisions. If a decision is needed, patience should be a virtue. Or make sure to deal with the CEO, President Directeur Général, or PDG in France before beginning. The French thought process is similar to this picture, sequential and refined. The French won't allow anyone to bully or con them, or to use hard sell techniques, so leave the American quick speak at home. Unlike the US, French logic is based on deductive reasoning. As this picture shows, deductive thinkers are concerned with the validity of arguments. If deemed valid, they then move on to deciphering whether it is sound or unsound. So, be ready to appeal to French intellect and logic by presenting in a thorough and rational manner. The French take great pride in their language and believe you should too. Though many in France speak English, they prefer not to, so a command of the French language will impress them. Presenting your business card with the reverse side printed in French will also be considered notable. If you do not speak French fluently, apologize early, but it is advisable you at least know a few French phrases. Regardless of proficiency, you are expected to say bonjour, daytime use, or bonsoir, evening use, with the honorific title monsieur or madame when entering a shop, and au revoir when leaving. Additionally, use of last names with monsieur or madame before it is a necessity with French business associates, unless otherwise directed. Also, as you see, French has two versions of the word you. While interviewing another French exchange student, Anna, she said tu should only be used for informal situations. Vous should be used in formal or professional settings. Using vous shows respect and reinforces France's focus on formality. Now, let's move to French protocol. Here, we will touch on how the French deal with time, greetings, dress code, separating their personal and professional lives, and achieving work-life balance. Before we get into it, why not try testing your knowledge of French protocol first? Pause the video and take a few minutes to answer the following questions. If you struggled with any of the questions, have no fear. I'll go through each one. Afterwards, you'll be on your way to keeping calm and following proper French protocol. Let's begin by talking about time in France. While the concept of time in many ways is polychronic or fluid in France, in other ways it is not. As we learned, the French take their time making decisions. However, it is still vital to ensure you make appointments in advance. While you should strive to be punctual, you will not be considered late if you arrive 10 minutes after the scheduled time. Although American media indicates otherwise, in France, greetings with bisous or double cheek kisses should only be used with friends and family members. If you ever reach such status, this picture shows how to double cheek kiss like a pro. Typically, if meeting someone for the first time, it's more appropriate to shake hands. In professional settings, you should always shake hands unless your French associate initiates greeting you with bisous. Make note that the French shake hands both on meeting someone and on leaving a room, and typically shake quicker and less firmly than Americans. Now, on to one of my favorite topics, French style. Generally, dress in France is on the formal side, whether in business or social situations. Haute couture originated in France, so naturally, a premium is placed on style and French chic is highly sought after. If you receive an invitation stating informal dress, don't assume you'll be fine in a t-shirt and jeans. Sneakers and other sport-like attire are better left at home or for use in the gym. Women are advised to tone down makeup and the color of their clothes and jewelry. As these pictures show, simple feminine elegance is what's in style for French women, so make sure to dress the part. Since the French use the way you're dressed as a litmus test to determine social status, tasteful clothing choices are key for business success. Dark conservative suits and accessories are recommended for men. In France, executives do not loosen their ties or take off their jackets while at the office or in restaurants, so don't be the first to shed yours. In France, there's a strict devotion to keeping personal and professional lives separate. As this sign shows, business and pleasure do not intersect here. Don't try to be overly friendly. It may be considered rude or intrusive. Although the French may work hard, they are by no means workaholics. Anna, the French exchange student, evidences the truth of this quote by stating that one of the big differences between the US and France is Americans are known for being available 24/7. This is not the case in France. Although depending on one's role, you may stay late at work, it is not part of the culture to be available for work on weekends. Your boss would never disturb you then. Weekends and vacations are for family fun and relaxation. Good luck trying to get in contact with a French business associate that has gone on holiday, especially in July or August. By the way, employees in France are entitled to 5 weeks of paid leave by law. So, this means while in France on business, you should have ample time to visit the sites, including the Eiffel Tower, or to have an intimate dinner at a French restaurant, or just people watch at a cafe. Moving on, let's talk about the art of French entertainment via their food, drinks, and gift-giving practices. In France, food is looked at as an almost spiritual experience. One does not eat just for the sake of eating. Instead, it is to enjoy the wonders of the meal. If invited to a business dinner, expect to have wine and be ready to spend at least 2 to 3 hours there. Also, table manners are continental with the fork held in the left hand and the knife in the right. And of course, make sure to leave room for some tasty French pastries. Keep in mind that coffee or tea should be ordered after dessert, not with it. Generally speaking, the French will not discuss business during dinner. In France, this is a time to enjoy good food, wine, and company. Don't bring up business unless your associates do. I'm sure some business was brought up during this dinner between German Chancellor Angela Merkel and French President François Hollande. The last topic I will cover is French gift-giving practices. Gift-giving is not part of normal business practices in France. If you do give one, make sure it's of high quality and will be of personal value to the recipient. However, you should never send a gift to a business associate's home. If you are lucky enough to be invited to a French partner's home for dinner, sending flowers in advance on the day of the dinner will be viewed favorably. A bouquet should have an odd number of flowers, by the way. Quality and presentation matter in France, so let's get into what is considered quality gifts and optimal presentation. If invited to a French home for dinner, there are some gifts that should be avoided, such as wine. The French are wine connoisseurs and most likely will have a better handle on wine pairings than you. Leave the wine selection to your hosts. Likewise, these shouldn't be given as gifts either. Carnations pictured to the left are associated with bad will. To the right are chrysanthemums, which are used for funerals. Roses at the bottom are fine unless they are red, which implies more familiarity than a business relationship provides. Though these are not red and do have an odd number of flowers, they violate a European tradition prohibiting bouquets of 7 or 13 flowers. Lastly, gifts with your company logo shouldn't be given. The French look down on such items. Now let's move to acceptable presents. While the French don't believe gifts have to be extravagant, they do feel gifts should appeal to one's intellect or aesthetic sense. Gifts of gourmet chocolates or lovely coffee table books related to their hobbies or interests are great. Also, gifts of decadent candies or other food items are sure to be a hit. Regardless of what you decide to give, make sure to wrap it attractively, as the French love a well-presented gift and will appreciate the extra effort. As you've learned during this presentation, doing business in France revolves around one's ability to seamlessly navigate the multifaceted formalities of French culture and society. With all things, preparation ahead of time will only serve as a benefit. I hope I have helped in some way. Till next time, happy travels. This has been TT Laifa Bentley presenting the business customs of France. Catherine is up next with the social and political organization of France. Au revoir.